Thank you. Well, good morning, everybody. It's really wonderful to be here. I want to thank Amy for 10 years of this forum. It was fun to watch the video. I attended that first forum and then attended one, I think it was either 2018 or 2019 before COVID. Haven't been back since, so it's really I'm honored to be back to talk to you about local work, because there are a lot of things to be said about national and global work. Love the conversations that take place in this forum. But I want you to know that cities around this country, cities here in Idaho, are really focused on how climate action protects our residents, keeps them healthy, ensures that our cities remain resilient, and in the long run, we are able to create opportunity for our kids and grandkids. I want to talk a little bit about that. Our goal at the City of Boise is to create a city that is safe and welcoming for everyone. And we do that as we think about putting people first, together in community. But I want to tell you a little bit about me and my story, how I got involved, because it frames up, it's such a Boise story, it frames up the work that we're doing now. That's actually me running in the foothills. At some point, my dog is a little ahead of me. She was with me on the trails this morning here. And I first got involved in policy and politics in Boise by running a campaign to protect our foothills open space. So back in 2001, we had a band of about 500 volunteers that did something that everybody said we couldn't do. And that was in 4 months pass a levy for $10 million that we put to work setting aside open space in our foothills. Fast forward, we won that levy. Fast forward to 2015, I was a city council member. It was so much fun to be able to vote to put another levy on the ballot. We did it again as a city with over 76% of Boiseans saying yes to protecting open space and foothills. With that $20 million, we've protected over $40 million worth of land and now have about 222 miles of trails that start. You can get on a trail in Boise. You can actually make your way all the way here if you want to on a bike or on foot. But we take care of over 200 miles of trails that I will say, just as an aside, with that big, beautiful bill that's in the Senate right now, and we all know they're trying to sell off our public lands. Nearly 11% of our trails are at risk of closure if that land is sold, because access will be cut off. And there's a whole bunch of land here that's at risk as well. So I put that out there because we've got to stay vigilant and continue to talk with our senators and House members about taking that Senator Lee's language out of that bill. I digress. But back to foothills and open space. Thank you. Boiseans have said loud and clear that we understand the connection between protecting our natural places and taking care of people. Because you got to do both if you want to have a successful, resilient community. So when I talk about being a safe and welcoming city for everyone, it's not just me that is working towards that. It is every single Boisean that has said loud and clear that that's our North Star. It's people. We take care of people, whether it be through COVID or any other times. We put people first. And at the same time, we protect the place that we call home. And by doing those two things, we know that we will succeed. So by protecting people and thinking about how we prepare our city for the future, we've got to have climate goals. And we're going to be successful by meeting these goals. And we're going to meet these goals by first meeting them as a city government. So think with our clean electricity goals, all of our city buildings, our city in general will run on clean electricity. We're going to take that knowledge and experience from doing it as a city and then do it together with the community. And our carbon neutral goals are the same. By 2035, city government is going to be carbon neutral. We're going to take all that experience, what worked, what didn't, and then with community do it citywide as well. We're on track to meet our goals, which I find really exciting. And people ask me right now, well, how are you going to do this with a change in administration? And I like to remind folks, I have to remind folks that we set these goals before and during COVID. We set them with a different administration. We knew we were going to do it. We didn't know we'd have a partner for 4 years. And we're still going to do it, even in a changing political landscape. Because if we don't, then our city and our residents will have a lot of challenges in the future. So we really see this as a mandate, also as an opportunity. And we're doing this by looking at how we protect our parks and open space, like I mentioned. Just this week, on Tuesday, I recommended to City Council that we put a third levy on the ballot. And this fall, If council approves in July, we'll have another open space, clean water. So think about protecting our river habitat, protecting our open space, creating opportunities for more parks and pathways. We'll have another levy on the ballot in November, if they approve it in July, which I expect that they will. So we're looking at more of that. I committed to the America the Beautiful initiative that by 2030, we will have doubled our tree canopy, so that'll be 30% coverage in the city of Boise. We will have spent $30 million, so this levy is part of that, on open space and clean water and river restoration. We will, by 2030, have increased volunteer activity by 30%, and also have 30% of our parks with natural areas. So we're putting natural habitat into parks, all as what we see as like making our neighborhoods livable, but really they're climate solutions and they help us meet these goals. And I want to talk a little bit about some of the kind of geeky, wonky scientific stuff that we're doing to meet these goals, because we're on track. And a big part of our plan is to harness the impact that our geothermal system can have. We have the largest geothermal system in the country and the 6th largest in the world. And I just find it so interesting because, as Amy said, we've got hot springs all over the place. People in Boise figured out that you could harness that hot water way back in the day and create ways to heat our homes much more cheaply and cleanly. And then, of course, now we are using that as about 15% of the way we will achieve decarbonization by 2050 is through our geothermal system. Right now, it heats 89 buildings downtown. So if you go through Boise, most of those buildings that you see downtown are on the geothermal system. 17 buildings are on the wait list because they too would like to be on the geothermal system. So the last 4 years, I've been beating the pavement in DC, trying to figure out how we fund the modernization of our system, and at the same time, how we fund the expansion of our system, because we really want to do both. Part of how we expand this is through people that are always doing what Boiseans have always done, which is partnering with us and donating things to help us achieve our goals. What are we now? We're summer. So this spring, we announced from the Harris family a geothermal water right donation that has the potential, to quadruple our geothermal capacity. So right now it is like, I am so grateful to them, and it's really exciting right now. The water lawyers and our climate team and our geothermal team and all the people are working through how we put that water right to work. And at the same time that we're thinking about how we expand the system with that new, very valuable water right that's been donated, we're looking at how we use the system in innovative ways. So just yesterday, Bloomberg Philanthropies announced that we were one of the 50 cities in the Mayor's Challenge with great ideas that if able to implement, we'll be able to bring like everyday things cities have to do, city services, in innovative ways. So my team will be joining 49 other cities as we work to figure out how we expand our system to provide clean heat, affordable heat, to affordable housing that's being built in Boise. Yes, thank you. 25 of those cities will receive a $1 million grant from Bloomberg Philanthropies to actually implement the solution. So we're really excited about the fact that we were chosen out of 630 cities to be one of 50, and working really hard to do everything we can to create a financial opportunity for us to be able to deliver clean heat to folks that are living in housing that's affordable Boise budgets, that's been built in public-private partnership in such a Boise way. I also want to say, just stay tuned, because we're working with another organization right now on building a program that would allow us to look at the feasibility of using our clean heat that comes right out of the ground to cool buildings, because we want to take that in another direction and bring some of that to scale as well. And then I also want to talk a little bit about electricity and electrification, because this is such a key part of our strategy. So background on me, Amy mentioned it, I was at Trillium, it was at Trillium Asset Management at the time. And this is just kind of a fun story now for me, because I work a lot with Idaho Power. When I was at Trillium, I helped manage portfolios, but I also did some advocacy work and was part of the team with As You Sow that was mentioned yesterday, that filed a resolution at Idaho Power that called on them to account for climate risk and develop climate action plans. And this was back in the day when Everybody was starting to say that this was absolutely important. Businesses were looking at it. Idaho Power wasn't. And shareholders, there was actually a shareholder up here that I worked with, said we have to. We actually got over 50% of the vote because of the power of those institutions that vote institutional shares. And that was unheard of at the time. I almost fell off my seat when I was in that shareholder meeting. And they got to work on putting together a climate plan. Well, fast forward 10 years. Now we're working with them day in, day out on, as one of their largest customers, the city of Boise, how they provide us the type of power that we want as a customer so that then we can mitigate and prepare for climate change in the long run so that our residents have clean, affordable, and less risky options for power. So we, together with Micron, negotiated and then got the PUC, the Public Utilities Commission in the state, to approve the first power purchase agreement in Idaho. Thank you. I'm pretty excited about it. And you already see what it's doing, but they built with that. So I want to talk about a couple things about that. It's a 20-year contract, so we built in certainty for costs for us as a city and our customers as a customer, but ultimately for our residents and taxpayers, because we know what we are paying to power city facilities. And so that 40 megawatt solar plant that went in south of here, south of the highway, is providing us with 10 megawatts of power. And we partnered with Micron to really make this happen, because as they were looking to invest in bringing chips manufacturing back to America, they too share our goals because they understand the risk of carbon and climate in the long run, and they need clean power. So we banded together, we got this passed, we negotiated with Idaho Power, a solar facility has been built, and it's providing the power that Micron needs for the $20 billion investment that they're making right now in Boise and bringing additional R&D and first in line kind of fab manufacturing to Boise. If you fly in and out, you're going to see a whole bunch of cranes. I think there's about 30 right now. That's what's happening right there. And that clean power is also powering our water renewal facilities and our airport. So if you go through the airport, know that airport, everything that's running is being run right now from electricity perspective on clean power solar that was built through that power purchase agreement. And because we have, before I say that, this 20-mile south farm was built. This is where we actually, it's such a euphemism, really. We lay all of our biosolids out. We grow crops that then feed animals. So we're trying to do this take a systems approach to the things that cities have to do. But our 20-mile south farm in 2016 was built to be a net zero building, and it was the first building like that that the city had built. It's actually net positive at this point and creates enough power above what we need out there to power about 6 homes annually from the extra power. But this is an example of where the city tried something new, and now, because as I mentioned, we've got in Idaho Power a partner to provide us the clean electricity that we're looking for. And we know that as a city government, we're going to meet our goal of being powered by 100% clean electricity by 2030. We are only building electric buildings. And so we have opened a fire station that is all electric, and it's also prepared for fire trucks of the future because these are 50-plus year investments. We've opened a police station that's all electric, same thing. We're going to be building a new concourse at the city of Boise's airport, and that too, we're working with airlines to make sure that it's prepared for airlines' needs of the future. It is a policy that we have now because we have clean electricity. We're going to put it to use by powering our buildings, and of course, tapping into geothermal for that heat wherever we can. And we're doing all this stuff as a city, but it's only possible, as I mentioned earlier, because of the residents and the values that our residents have. They expect us to lead because they understand that for prosperity, to make progress as a community, and to ensure long-term that we are healthy and we remain a vibrant community, we've got to make these investments now and think both about what we need today, but what we're going to need in the long run. And that is, and for us, climate action is woven into everything we do, whether it be planting trees in the hottest neighborhoods of the city so that we can cool those neighborhoods so that folks spend a little less money cooling their homes in the winter, in the summer, or whether it's our 10-minute walk to a park goal where I want every kid in Boise to be able to run out their front door and within 10 minutes get to a park safely. 74% of our kids are there, but that is guiding how we set aside parcels of pockets of parks in our city so that folks can get outside. Or whether it be asking our residents what they would like to do to partner with us. Right now, our residents are so engaged. 97% of Boiseans use our composting program, recycle. They're asking us to do more, and they're helping us figure out how. So about last fall, I announced a climate action committee. I thought I'd maybe put 12 people on this committee. We got over 200 applications, and so I built it out to 20 people. And then we're trying to engage everybody else as well, because I don't want anybody that wants to be involved in the city not to have something to do with us. But they have been working all winter, holding listening sessions all around the city, asking residents what they want to do to help us meet those citywide goals of clean electricity by 2035, how they can help us advocate, and then our carbon neutral goals by 2050, what action residents ought to take, and then how we can support them to do that. They will be bringing a guide to me very shortly. And in my mind, that guide and the action that we've seen this winter is so indicative of how we're able to do this work to set Boise up to be climate resilient, a climate leader, and ultimately a winner and from an economic perspective, health perspective, and vibrancy perspective for our kids and grandkids. And I am so deeply grateful for the chance to share a little bit about what we're doing, but really for the residents that are committed to this work, that are involved in public, private, and philanthropic partnerships that push me and our council to do more. And together, I'm confident that we will make the goals that we've set. We are learning along the way, and then we're going to do everything we can to help others in our region and state do this alongside us, because it's so important and the most necessary tool to ensure that in the long run, we are a safe and welcoming city for everyone. So thank you all very much for letting me tell my story. Great to be here.